It's kind of like robbing Peter to pay Paul, but if no one's watching, it didn't happen, right? It's like what stays in Vegas, or what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas anyway. Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. We talked through how to use Bloom's taxonomy to figure out how on earth to teach count singing to begin with. Last video, I talked about the warm-up and how you can use the warm-up to teach count singing. It's kind of like robbing Peter to pay Paul, but if no one's watching, it didn't happen, right? It's like what stays in Vegas, or what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas anyway. This next section, I'm going to talk about a connection activity. It's very similar to the warm-up, but you really need to go through all of these steps. It sounds very arduous and ho-hum, and I'm so bored and the kids are going to be bored. No, if you want them to learn it, you have to go through the steps. You can be inventive and exciting and all of that with the steps, but this is the basic framework for how to do it. So I'm calling this a connection activity, starting with the my turn, your turn, just back and forth information. And then we applied it to a warm-up, and now we're going to actually apply it to the repertoire. And we're going to pretend like we're singing Row, Row, Row Your Boat in our chorus class, okay? So we're going to find that melody that we used in the warm-up. So I would have taught this melody in the warm-up. Do, 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 do. And I'm pretty sure that my singing is still in the key of D. So we are going to sing that through again. We're going to look at it in the actual hard copy piece of music that we have so they can make that connection. And then the second thing we're going to do is write in the count singing. So you're going to actually have the students, the singers, write in the count singing with the subdivision. So you can see the example that I have here. 1, 2, T, 2, 2, T, 1, 2, T, 2, 2, T, 1, 2, T, 2, 2, T, 1, 2, T, 2, 2, T. We're in 6/8, thus the count singing that I used. And then after they have written in the count singing, so that actual process of them writing things in the score is using a different part of the brain, higher level of understanding, and it gives you, the teacher, a visual representation of their understanding. So if you're looking for paper grades and things like that, this is a perfect assessment tool for you to use. And then the final third step of this connection activity is to sing the song using the count singing written in the score. So they're actually looking at the score and they're looking at the count singing. Up until this point, we've pretty much just done everything from an oral perspective. Moving on from there with count singing, we're still not done, because this is something that needs to just keep going. If you watch any of Robert Shaw's Preparing a Masterpiece videos, you'll see that he uses count singing in every single rehearsal. It's not like a one and done. It's a tool that will help as they continue to learn the music. And in another video, I'm going to talk about why Robert Shaw used this. What was the purpose behind this? First of all, as we're thinking about how we're going to move forward, how we're going to continue using count singing, first and foremost, it always goes back to the repertoire. If you are trying to teach count singing in your choir rehearsals and you are feeling frustrated because it's just not working, it's because you're choosing music that's too hard to count sing at that moment in time. So we want to find music that is perfectly appropriate for teaching count singing. What does that look like? Well, first, it means that you're choosing music, or you're choosing a section of music to count sing that is using rhythmic concepts that you've already taught them as part of the warm-up or a connection activity or something like that. We're also going to find music that can be modeled in the warm-up. So if it's too hard to do as part of a warm-up, it means that that's a concept that is above those particular singers at that time. Don't do it. It's easiest to count sing pieces that are homorhythmic to start out with. So they're stacked. They're singing the same rhythm at the same time. So that's allowing you as the teacher to hear any errors that are happening rhythmically, which is one of the reasons that we use count singing to begin with. But it's also allowing the students or the singers that maybe are a little bit less secure in this means of singing, the ability to hear around them, and what they're hearing around them is what they're supposed to be singing to, at least as far as the rhythm is concerned. But it also, we want to find music that goes a little bit past those singers. So it's stretching them to want to learn more about this concept, about this strategy as they continue in their music making. The next thing to consider is, as you're moving forward with count singing, is that you need to practice count singing in every single rehearsal. Like at least for the first 2/3, I would say, of your rehearsal on a particular piece of music. Truth be told, I'm bad at this. This is probably what I'm the most bad at. The most bad? The baddest? Anyway, I'm really bad at this part because of that reason of I need to get through stuff quickly, and I'm just gonna, I'm gonna take the quick and dirty route, which is just my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. That doesn't provide for lifelong singers. So we'll hold each other accountable at that one. Well, as you're writing out your lesson plans, think of at least one way you can implement count singing in every single rehearsal. Maybe it's just the warm-up on a particular week. That's okay. It's better than nothing. And then the third thing is that you always want to use Bloom's taxonomy or a similar taxonomy when you're teaching a new concept. Remember, understand, apply. If you try to apply before they understand a concept, you've wasted your time. If you try to test for understanding before you've just taught them how to remember the information, once again, pointless. We don't need to waste time here. Time is precious, especially in the music room, especially in the ensemble rehearsal. We're always pressed for time. There's always this thing looming called a concert, right? Or an assessment of some sort that we're working towards. So our time is valuable. Use teaching concepts, use pedagogy that is strong and proven to teach these new concepts and hold yourselves accountable to it. Decided to add in a brief clip of my rehearsal this past Monday. We're working on Awake the Harp from Haydn's creation. We will eventually sing it with other groups of singers, but for now you'll just hear the treble parts. This was a really great exercise in count singing because of the vertical alignment of the voice parts in this particular instance. So I included a little bit of a video here at the end for you to take a look at how you might apply the use of count singing. You'll see, to start off with, we just did a simple 5-note scale, 1 and 2 and T and 4 and 1, to get them used to the structure of count singing. It's been a while. It's a new semester for us, and we have a new group every semester, so it's a matter of retraining folks. And then I demonstrated for them how we would actually apply the count singing to the particular excerpt that we were working on. This is a group of singers from varying ability levels. I have a lot of non-readers in this group. We did work through the pitches on solfege to begin with. I didn't include that in this particular excerpt. But what you'll see is a progression from a relative insecurity with the count singing to the point where it's working effectively to teach them the rhythm. We have lots of to do still on tone and placement and balance and things of that nature, but this was specifically just to teach them the rhythm. You're welcome to add some comments below, ask some questions about this process if you'd like. Please stay away from making comments about the choir itself. This is, again, a group of primarily novice singers, so we're just all together hoping to learn and be better singers by the end of the semester. So I hope that you enjoy this excerpt. 1 and 2 and T and 1. We also have to try and get a date on 4 and. Try it again. Let's sing and of beat 4 and 2. Shall we? Ready and go. 1 and 2 and T and 1. That was quite lovely. Now put 4 back in and take out the and of 2. Ready and go. 1 and 2, T and 4 and 1. Again, go. 1 and 2, T and 4 and 1. Good. So if you look at this little excerpt at the beginning, I'm not going to sing the actual pitches. So it sounds like this. And 2 and T and 2 and T and 2 and T and 4 and 1 and 2 and T and 1 and go. And 2 and T and rest. And 2 and T and 2 and T and 4 and 1 and 2 and T and 1 and 2 and T and 4 and 1 and 2. So not N2, NT, N2, NT, N, because you're going to be more accurate and not singing beat 4 if you do that. Ready? And here we go. N2, NT, N, N2,